BEEX project is a no-profit foundation about visual art and photography. If you want to help us, just drop a donation on buymeacoffee.com/BerlinExplorer.
Let's do it.
So, welcome to this 50 minutes of experience. Today I'm with Blaine Vernicek from US, I think. And welcome, Blaine.
Hey, thank you for having me.
So, today we talk about your experience as a photographer, but not only as a human in this case. And before to start, I want to ask you to introduce a bit of yourself, then we can go through your picture.
Okay. Hi, my name's Blaine Vernicek. I'm born in the Florida Keys. It's a chain of islands off of the tip of Florida here in the United States. I used to work with my father for a number of years at the radio station and making online videos and documentaries. But for the last 2 years, I've been in concrete construction. So that's mainly what I do right now.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. And I can hear a bit of your experience in the radio because you're the first person has no problem to talk in a podcast until now. After hundreds of people had this first experience. So today I want to talk with you about, first of all, some of the experience you have as a photographer. In this case, even if you do it the photographer, I think in an amateur way, no?
Yeah, my experience in photography. I mean, growing up as a kid, my dad would always, give me cameras. It started with, some plastic cameras. Maybe it came with like a little science kit, like a microscope or like a telescope, and it came with a little plastic camera. And then I always liked to have a little camera. And for a while, it was, digital cameras because they were cheap and they were around. But then there was definitely a big transition where people started shooting digital and they put their film cameras down, and I decided I wanted to pick them back up again. I wanted to keep using these cameras that people were leaving around because some of them were really nice gear, and it was sad to see them sitting around in the closet.
So tell me which I mean you have many cameras as I can see.
Yeah.
But tell me I don't know the 3 your favorite cameras that you will never change in your life.
Never change in my life. Yeah. That's tough. That's a very tough question. I really like my Lomo LCA. I mean, if I had to have a camera on me every day, it would probably be my Lomography, either my LCA Plus or my LCD wide. I really like the wide angle lens on that camera. But the 2 other cameras that I like to do what I imagine photography work with is I like my Mamiya C33. I really enjoy working with that camera, and my Nikon F3. With all my accessories, all the different viewfinders, the different lenses, the bellows, I used to use the motor drive for a while, but I like all those accessories on that camera.
So you mentioned 3 different kind camera. The first Lomo is I think a camera that you can bring everywhere and shoot everything, and it's a bit even for fun, is really versatile. And what I want to do it with you today, it's asking you, okay, do you remember some moment you shooted with the Lomo that remain in your mind and we want to talk about today?
Okay. I mean, maybe it didn't start with the LCA to begin with. Probably the first Lomography camera that I found was a Smina Symbol.
Okay.
And that was my first experience, using a compact, mostly plastic camera that had the zone system for focusing. That was new for me. I had seen lomography cameras on the internet, but it took me a long time before I could really work up to buying an LCA or buying my own lomography camera. The Smina I found in a junk shop. I found it just going into a thrift store, and supposedly this old woman that she would bring them over, and that was my first experience with lomography and using that zone system to kind of, to anticipate distance, to learn how to measure the distance and focus, without necessarily using an SLR, right?
Yeah.
Using like the Nikon F3 and having different focusing screens and having all that assistance. That learning to shoot with the lomography camera really gave me the freedom to shoot.
Yeah.
It gave me the skills that I needed to learn to be able to just shoot photography without thinking about exposure too much or thinking about focus too much.
Yeah, I totally understand, because I use still Minox 35ML, and it's totally manual. I mean, it's a diaphragm, and so aperture, speed, and focus are totally manual, and you cannot check that. I mean, you have to just check the number of the distance, and yeah, if you did good. If you didn't good, it's you take like that, and.
Exactly.
In your lomography profile, there are really 90,000 of pictures, so I can imagine how much you could spend on it, how much time, money, and energy on the whole work. And I think it's really interesting, the approach you have in photography, because it's regarding everything, and I can understand there is a big collection of moment about your private life, moment about what is around your eyes. There is a bit everything, I can say, and
everything.
For me, it's really interesting. In the same way, it's I appreciate a lot, because most of the time people, especially today, tend to post or to publish just some selection of pictures, and you never have the reality to observe what are also the mistake that sometimes make the work of someone unique. And this is something I really appreciate to watch in your page on lomography. And I've seen that you have a bunch of miniatures of, I can understand that they are Gundam, or I think they are Gundam.
Yeah. My other hobbies show up.
And it's really cool, that I mean, it's not related to Gundam, but actually Lego is doing a competition with the prize in money for the most inventive and creative picture can represent Lego. I mean, if you don't know that, I will for sure.
There's lots of there's lots of contests, and I guess that's really where lomography played a pretty strong part in growing my photography. I mean, because I was definitely taking pictures. I was putting them on Flickr, I was putting them on my Facebook, I was doing things with them, but I really, nothing was really happening with it, right? It was mostly for myself, maybe for my friends, but it wasn't going anywhere. I mean, I wasn't concerned about getting more likes or getting more comments or anything like that, but
it's clearly that you do it for yourself. Totally clear. So as I said, everything I see, it's totally about yourself, and it's totally clear that you don't do it to getting comment, likes, and blah blah. It's we can say in that way it's more the old school way, just archiving images that you shoot normally every day just because you like to do it. That stop. And I think is the best way, because there is no expectation about what can come after that. But I would also say that having this big archive of pictures and collections of many different moments, sometimes even if you shoot your friends, And
Mm-hmm.
you have during the many years the evolution also of them life, your approach with them problem, them
Yes.
happiness. In a way or another, you are collecting, we can say, project. And
Mm-hmm.
what I learned as a curator in photography, that this is what in the end make the real differences. I mean, photographer that we remember are the photographer they closed the project, not the one they have millions of followers, but the one they have made probably a work for 20 years without knowing anyone in this topic, and then after 20 years they come up with the 2 3 books that they made successful, and yeah, in the end, it's they did it because they love it what they
Mm-hmm.
do, and the point is this is yeah, today we are probably used to publish also on social network picture of our relationship or our love, but the point is we cannot sit there only publishing the
Mm-hmm.
beautiful moment with our girlfriend, we can say in this case,
Yeah.
uh, but probably more focusing on the relation. And
Mm-hmm.
in this case, you focused on just the love to doing what you do. And for me, this is the top. And what I want to ask you, it's we can say photography in a way helped you to watch the world in a also different way, to get in touch with the world and learn from the world.
Yeah, definitely the lomography help open that up to me too, where I was getting frustrated with photography because I didn't want to, I didn't go to school, I didn't take classes. Maybe I would read some books, but once I was able onto that website, there were a lot of resources and a lot of different people to connect with from all over the world that I didn't have an opportunity before.
And on lomography, just this is another curiosity from
Yes.
my side. Did you got in touch with other people? Did you ever made swapping, or I don't know,
Yes.
uh,
Yeah. I do.
topic
I do. I
discussion?
sometimes, yeah, I sometimes do film swaps. I really like the lomography contests. That's been a great outlet. I've, won some prizes from that were pretty cool. And yeah, there's some of the community. One of the other lomographers that I know you've interviewed. She encouraged me to go ahead and do this interview too. So I'd say, yeah, I really like the friends that I've made on there. Some of them have even come to the Keys and visit me before too. So it's more than just what I do online. I
And,
think lomography's become kind of a part of my life.
and have you ever met someone that you encounter on lomography?
Yeah, one of my friends, C Smart. I mean, he came down from Wisconsin. He stayed here. Andre's another good photographer too. He's from, I don't know, he's from somewhere in Europe, but he happened to be
Yeah.
down here in the Keys shooting some stuff, and he came by the studio when I was still at the radio station. He got to see what I do on my end. He got to see my little dark room I used to have.
It's
Um,
really cool that. So I want to ask you
mhm.
that you think there is something in the world of photography is missed, and if it's like that, what is? What do you think could make the differences also in this world?
I'm sorry. You'll have to rephrase that to me again.
Yeah, it's it.
What is it?
I ask
What is it about photography?
what I am asking you, it's if there is something you think will definitely change the world of photography, and I mean something is missed in this world.
Whoa. What do I think's missing from photography? I mean, there's definitely a lot of creative people out there who have a lot to say. And for me, photography isn't just about making a photo, it is about saying something too. In the United States, photography is protected by freedom of speech. And I know from listening to some of your other podcasts that photography is very different from country to country, not just culturally, but you have different laws too in different
Yeah.
places that, I listen to your podcast and I say, oh, wow, I don't think that it's necessarily wrong. I understand that, the laws protect people, but
Yeah,
some people, there are some people out there who need the tools and need the skills to say the things that they need to say. And I think that's what's still missing from photography in general, that it's a language that not everybody understands.
Yeah, this is totally a language that is full of analphabets, and this is for me also a weird part, because we are in the 2021. We use the images every day, and we don't know how to read an images. And I think what also led me to doing this project is to let understand that probably it's one of the things we have probably to introduce more inside of our system of education. I think, yeah, I mean, in US there is already, as I know, almost every school has a dark room, blah, blah, so, or at the dark room, we can say.
Some schools, yeah.
Some school, we can say they had.
Not the school I went to.
But in Europe, look, in Europe, it's really. I mean, I never saw a school with darkroom. Never. I never knows about school with the darkroom, or I never knows a school talk about photography. I mean, it's probably in US more useful to talk about photography, also because it's part of the evolution of the country. The movie, the film is something was really developed. In there, also used from the political part, when there was the period of also the research of sociology. But in Europe, we probably relate a lot to the history of art, so critical art, more about these aesthetics of the Middle Age, but not a lot about the actual visual images. And I think, yeah, this is something probably would help, not a kind of, omitted or technique to understand what is photography, but more to let use the tool in schools. I mean, generally in the education, to also understand how we express ourselves and in which way other perceive ourselves, and in which way we perceive the world. And I think it's something. If I now I want to quote a friend that wrote recently on Facebook that if everyone will do it 3 pictures per day and watching at them, I mean, it's something that everyone do it, but with an analog camera, not with the phone. That probably the world will be a better place. You always say, if someone doing a film roll per day, the world will be a better place.
Oh, that'd be expensive to do every day.
Yeah, and this is the point. This is also the point. It's unbelievable that film costs really a lot today.
That was a big part of figuring out, like, how can I shoot every day? If I'm going to be an everyday shooter, how am I going to afford to shoot every day? Or what am I going to shoot with to shoot every day? What film stock, what chemicals, and what camera? And I had to come up with my own methods. I shot a lot of expired film because I could shoot it for $2.50 a roll.
And for me, it's a lot.
That's a steal. And now I look online and I see a roll is $4.50. I mean, it changes things.
Yeah. I mean, here in Europe, it's totally difficult to find a roll cost less than $7. So it's something really incredible. And this is after the pandemic. Is impossible to find the Kodak Color Plus. I mean, really, after when started the pandemic, I didn't find anymore a Kodak Color Plus. It's like I don't know, this scene in the movie where people go in the shop and they take everything, and it's really. I mean, here in Berlin, if you want to shoot with the film and with the cheap film, you have to go every day in the shop, in 3, 4, 5 different shops, and check if they have a new film there. And when they have a new film, you have to take all the package because you will never find anymore.
Everything I work with right now, Emilio, is yes, Juan? I'm in a meeting right now.
So I thank you a lot for your time, Blaine. And
I know. Okay.
And if anyone wants to see the work of Blaine, the link is in the description. And for me, it was really nice to meet you. It was really nice to talk with you because there was everything on the flow. And I hope that we can collaborate more in the near future.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on, Emilio. And I look forward to seeing more of what you're doing with BEEX.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for listening to this podcast, and if you want to learn more about us, you can visit the link allmylinks.com, Berlin Explorer, or our website bexproject.com. And if you want to follow us, you can always get news from Instagram on our account BEEX Project. Thank you again, and see you in the next episode.